The entire world is just like, no, no, no. If you want to be a member of society, you have to do it this way or else. I cannot live another moment of my life inside that box. I have to break free of it. Nothing is getting in my way.
Okay, get out.
I'd spent my life climbing up this hill that, the goalposts were always moving. I was always trying to buy a home, just be able to survive, afford to eat, live, be comfortable, thrive in any way. It was always a huge struggle. And I realized one day that hill I was never going to reach the top of it. I was like, oh, something's broken in the system here and it's not actually made for me to reach the top of it. Every time I earn more money, the market goes up. It all just seems to time perfectly that it just becomes a bit further out of reach. And I was like, this is insanity. I'm insane for keeping on trying this same direction and then getting more and more depressed and tired along the way. Good morning, my name is Esther. I have about 50 cents in my bank account, but I have never been more abundant in my life. I haven't had a job now for a few months and I haven't been hustling trying to bring money in either. So I've been working with the universe and my energy and being as magnetic as possible. And I've been tuning my frequency so that my energy can expand out from my body and connect with people all over the world who are aligned with my frequency. So I'll go through something in life and I'll learn as much as I possibly can because I want to turn around and give that knowledge to someone else. So then I decided, to stop the mission of buying a home, went on a quick little holiday to New Zealand by myself and had a whole spiritual journey there that was really beautiful. And then came back and was working, full time, but from home at this point. And while I was doing that, I was recording my podcast. I was, getting really clear on who I am on the inside and the things that I love doing, the way that I like helping the world. I was sharing my knowledge with everyone, sharing my story, sharing spiritual wisdom, sharing anything that I could to help other people progress along their path who are in a similar kind of vibration to me and who are, on a similar journey in their own way, I guess. I was just like, whatever I have, take what you need from this, leave the rest, hopefully it helps. Then I started writing meditations and made a meditation and that was blowing up and I was like, wow, I love doing this for people and people are responding really well to it. It just feels like this beautiful feedback loop of good vibes. It's healing. Meditations are so incredibly healing. I've gotten to this place in my life with meditation. I've created freedom in the sense that now I can think clearly. I've slowed down enough that I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. I have a very clear connection to the universe. I understand how to just pull information and inspiration through and action it earthside. That would have been very hard to learn while staying in a mindset of I just gotta do this, I just gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, run around. Yuck. No thanks. My boss had to say she couldn't keep me on anymore working full time, so she had to technically let me go, but then I continued to contract for her for a little bit there. And then there was a big push from the universe to stop doing that, and to do a trust fall. And so I was like, hey, I can't do this work for you anymore. It started to feel like a really big tug of war was happening inside me, and I like to live in alignment the absolute best I can. Source, the universe's frequency is here, and I'm just getting my human life to be in alignment with what's inside my soul as much as possible, to live in the physical world in alignment with what's in here. And so that's always my goal. And so it got to a point where contracting and doing this work started to feel like a bit of a tug of war against where I was meant to be going, what I was meant to be doing. And a friend was like, I really feel like you're meant to quit your job. And I was like, And as soon as she said it, it was my whole body just was I have to. So I did. I didn't know what I was going to do but I did know that I wasn't going to hustle. I don't want to just, blindly be like, oh my God, I'm just going to work really hard and just hope something happens. No, not again. I already had a business. I'm not blindly hustling again. Whatever I do has to be in perfect alignment for my energy and for who I am and where I'm going and what I want to do and how I want to create and live in this world and be of service to others and everything. So I quit and then spent months. It's been about 3 months now where I haven't had a job. I put an offering online to do coaching calls and I sell meditation and hypnosis tracks, just as digital downloads. And But I don't really I don't advertise them. I don't hustle people into doing that or anything. I just keep showing up as myself whenever I feel called to help someone in some way, and I share something online, and then people just, they find me and they book in, which is really beautiful. So it feels very much like it's aligned, you know? Anyway, so that's been sustaining me. Amazing things have happened to be able to keep me in this place where I can keep paying rent and everything. But I am not by any means rolling in dough. I have $20 to my name now, today. Yesterday I had about 50 cents. Today I've got $20. And that's okay, because I know it's not for long. I think the craziest part of all of this is holding it together for my kid, and also holding a high vibration. Because for this to work, if I was to just take a giant money leap and put myself in this position where I refuse to waste my energy doing anything that is not in alignment with where I'm going, I'm only using my energy to get myself to where I know I need to be. You gotta hold a specific vibration. You have to get into an energy that is in alignment with where you're going. What energy is future me in? I need to raise my vibration to that energy. So I'm holding this really high vibration, knowing deep down, knowing and believing entirely that this is all gonna work out really fucking well. And so in times like this, to not dip my energy down into a victim mentality was tricky at first. It took practice, but now I am in this position. I'm it's okay, money's coming back in soon. It'll be here again soon. I always make sure my kid has food. He's not gone without ever. It's really important for me to hold a high vibration because he can feel my energy. So if he can feel that I'm fine, he knows I'm fine. He knows we're fine. So he feels fine. So the two of us are in this high vibration together, which is really cool. But this is where it gets really tricky. Not only is it your own anxiety that is terrifying in these big trust falls, taking such a big leap of faith that everything's going to be okay and that this wasn't all for nothing. I feel I have a fucking PhD in healing and getting past anxiety to keep going in the right direction, even when your ego and everything inside you is no, this is scary. My heart and soul knew it was right, you know? So I listened to that more than anything. But then there's the people in your life, the family, the friends, the government, everyone around you who wants you to just keep fucking doing what you're told, which is scary to go against that grain. I feel I'm swimming up a waterfall in Earth, in the 3D sense, in the sense of society, in our current patriarchal societal structure. I feel I'm swimming up a waterfall against the stream. But with the universe, with my soul, with source, I feel I'm swimming in flow with the universe, and I'm just drifting on my back, knowing that everything's going to be okay. Obviously, I had to make some choices. So for me, I'm not recommending anyone do anything. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just telling you what I've done and what's right for me, and you can just listen to my story and enjoy it if you want, or if it triggers you, sweet, look at that trigger within yourself. Maybe it means that you need to look at something like this in your own life, or if you're just no, this is not for me, that's fine. Click on. I've had to throw my credit rating out the fucking window. I've had to be late on a lot of bills and just cop it. Sometimes my phone has been shut off, and I'm doing what I can. I pay tiny little nuggets, and I got my financial situation as in order as I can with the current circumstances. So when I have more money coming in, I will make sure to readjust my current financial structure, but I've got it as structured as it can be for now. I don't care. I'll figure it out. You look so beautiful. Oh, what are you in a film clip? Stop. What's your band called? Oh, whoa. That's incredible.
Go again. You happy with that?
No, whoa.
Pose down.
Then I go and talk to my family and bless their souls. I know it's coming from a place of love, but they're just what are you doing? When are you going to get a job? What are you, how are you going to pay rent? How are you going to pay bills? Where? Because we don't come from money. So what they're basically, they're loving, the inner love that they're trying to say is we want you to be okay, but we don't have the ability to just help you out through this. So please, what are you doing? And I keep trying to explain to them that what I'm doing is for the first time ever, I'm throwing everything else this, the whole have a house, all the life, none of it suits, none of it's right. It wasn't right. So if you want to live in a place of health, for me, if you want to live in a place of where you're healthy, you're being creative, you can rest, you can play, you can actually help others, you can break out of this fucking system and change it and do something beneficial for the world, nothing was supportive of me doing that. except for the universe, except for my heart, except for the friends around me that are, you know, just believing in me wholeheartedly, which is, I'm so lucky to have them. There is one thing that has just started supporting me through this, which is incredible. I just found out about a government program that we have here in Australia called the Self-Employment Assistance Program. I don't get child support. I wasn't getting any payments for my kid because he's a teenager. None of that. And then a friend was like, there's this program where they pay you to start a business. And I was like, what? Like, I'm literally about to start a business. So you get business coaching and they pay you. And the business coach people, like they're like, so the whole thing is run through the government. I was picturing just something really drab and really confining. And I was like, I don't know about this. But then I spoke to some people on the phone and they were like, yeah, blah, 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 do whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, cool. So the vibe was awesome. And I was like, wow, I'm really lucky to live in this day and age where I have this resource available to me to help me through this time when I am setting this business up. So that payment can pretty much pay my rent because, like, I'm a single mum. I pay $1,000 in rent a fortnight by myself, and food, just for 2 bags of food, is $130 at Aldi, which is like the cheap place to buy food here, depending on where you are. You might know what I'm talking about, you might not. So it's really, the cost of living is really, really high. So I've already set myself free. I used to live freaking out, worried all the time. I'd wake up stressed and anxious and in panic attacks, and I would have like a racing heart. You know, I couldn't see what was going on. I was so blinded and just rushing. Because that's like what the world asks of us today, right? Like, that's normal. It's not normal, but it's normal as in everyone does it. But it's not, it goes against our human nature. I've created freedom for myself. I can decide what I want to do every day. I do what I love. I'm creating all the time. I spend a lot of time just going to the beach and reading a book or meditating. I spend a lot of time painting, creating. I can't do the laughing part. I have a very abundant life. Like, I just find a lot of joy in everything that I'm doing and what's around me and what's available to me. I love being outside and being in nature. I love going slowly and then moving really rapidly in everything that I create and produce. Like, I move through the world like a fucking blazing fire, which is cool. I love that about myself. And everyone who knows me is just like, how do you do it? Like, I'll say I'm gonna do something and the next thing you know, I've produced it professionally in like 2 minutes. I don't know, I just do so much. I like to do so much. But I also like to be slow and do it in my own way with my, like, based on my energy and how my energy feels and how it likes to exist. I want to help people get out of that and into this. I will have a lot of money soon. And if that gives you the ick, look at that. You know, I had to look at that kind of thing. I used to have a really bad relationship with money and I had to work on it a lot. So much of the traps that we put ourselves in life come down to a poor money mindset. We're in this place of separation. It's almost like there's this big cloud of ego veil covering our eyes. And the way the ego and the patriarchy work is that, like, someone's at the top and that person's better than everyone else. And so for the patriarchy and capitalism and all of that to work, we've got to have a couple of like really big dogs, like rich big dogs at the top, controlling a lot of everything. And then it, you know, goes down from there, so that it does, but the money doesn't really trickle down to anyone. They're just taking more and more and more and more. And so then everyone at the bottom is like scrounging and kind of like fighting and competing and everything for like these little crumbs. And, you know, some people like walk around acting as if they're all like affluent and blah, 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 but they're still like nothing. They're nothing like the wealth of the people at the top. And it's crazy that there's such a big gap. And so then that creates this thing individually in our mindsets where it's like, oh, there's, you know, always someone above me with more that I've got to strive to, instead of just striving to your own version of success, happiness, wealth, that kind of thing. And it also makes you think that, like, money is for a certain few people and not for you. The ego of the patriarchy is, I have all the money and no one else can have it. I want it all for me and it's not for anyone else. And so then when you're on the poverty side of that coin, it's like everyone else has it but me. But, you know, this is all just true for me. So take whatever you want and leave the rest.
Everything that I bang on about is true for me and maybe people who are in similar circumstances for me. But maybe the way that I see things will help you clarify things in your life. Like, we've all got different circumstances, right? And different wants and dreams and desires and that kind of thing. This, to me, feels free. A friend asked, she was like, okay, well, so when your business takes off, which it inevitably will, because I'm a fucking magnet, like, people are flying into my life, which is a beautiful thing, because I want to just receive them with open arms and be like, come here, I'll give you some love. She was like, it's going to take off. You're going to be a multimillionaire very soon. What are you going to do? And I was like, I'm doing it. I'm already doing it. I've already created that life for myself. I'll just have different, like, you know, maybe my paints that I use will be more pigmented because I can't afford those yet. It's not that I can't afford them. I'm just using my money differently. I'm prioritizing rent and food over paint, which is smart currently. But sometimes I prioritized the paint because I needed to, because it's what my soul wanted, and then the money for the food came in anyway, you know what I mean? The universe has got your back. You just got to, like, listen to your internal compass. But right now, my internal compass is saying rent and food. So yeah, I'll buy more pigmented paint. My car broke down on Friday last week, so maybe a car. I'd have a car that's just safe. A car from this century that has aircon would be toit. But I'm already, like, living how I want to live. I'm already living with, like, the balance and learning to be magnetic. Like, I'm not going to just suddenly launch this business and become a fucking hustling fucking girl boss. Bleh, you know? I'm going to just keep doing it from a balance of feminine and masculine energy. And I'll travel. That'd be cool. But other than that, I want to keep spending my days going to the beach and reading a book and hanging out with my friends and making podcasts and thinking of more ways to help people and connecting in with the universe and bringing information and wisdom and knowledge down and expressing it earthside and putting myself out there. And just the more that I shine my light bright around the world, the more I'm going to ignite the light in others. So I know I need to do that. So that's why I'm putting myself out on as many platforms as I can. I'm going to go hang out with Cece now. I love you.